Good morning. Our first reading for today focus the spotlight to Prophet Elijah. Elijah in Hebrew means Yahweh is my God. Elijah, he was a figure of great power and was likened to a fire. And you know what? Fire is an agent of change. Elijah was a terrible reformer. And our first reading says, his words is like a burning torch. He was described as someone who can put an end to wrath before the Lord, cleansing and destroying all evil were his ways of preparing the way of the Messiah. The battle cry of Elijah was, he asks people during this time to turn away from idols. Conversion by turning away from the idol Balaam. Because Balaam is a prophet of prosperity, a prophet who promised success. But Elijah is telling them there is only one God. That's why his battle cry is cleansing and destroying all evil by preparing the way of Messiah. And what's the life of Prophet Isaiah is telling us today, especially myself. Today, December 10, I celebrate my 42nd birthday. How I wish I could celebrate it back home, because I told the bishop, if you could please extend a little bit, I would like to celebrate birthday and anniversary back home in the Philippines. But here I am today celebrating my birthday here in the parish. You know, Elijah is an agent of change. He was likened to a fire. And I reflected last night, the life of Elijah is also telling me in my life as a priest. I turned 6-year-old priest 2 days ago. And like Elijah, I was challenged to be on fire, to inspire. One of my realization back home during my 3 months studies, I've discovered that my life is, I have this kind of tendency of, my personality is I like to be, that's why I understand why I love to be with people, because that's my response, that's my personality. It's just like in psychology, they're telling that my life is just like life of the party. You know, that's my life. So, monastery is just like a prison to me. I love to be with people. I love to associate with people. When I am alone, it's just like I'm in prison. That's why I'd like to associate. And Prophet Elijah is telling me to be on fire, to inspire people. I love to go out. Elijah is asking people to turn away from Balaam. That's their idols. And nowadays, you know, people here, especially here in North America, we serve idols. And the idols we serve right now, the name of the idol is comfort and convenience. If it's not comfortable, if it's not convenient, we disregard it. That's why connecting it in our gospel for today. Our gospel is telling us that Jesus will come not to bring fire to change the world, but Jesus will come bringing the weapon of love expressed through suffering and sacrifice. Sometimes people nowadays, we hate to hear the word suffering. We love convenience. We love comfort. But Jesus, His weapon is love, expressed through suffering and sacrifice. And the way of Jesus is love. And His love was expressed by dying on the cross. And the gospel says today, He predicts His own death by saying, the Son of Man will suffer. But His disciples assume that He is talking about John the Baptist. Because John the Baptist is the same with Elijah. His battle cry is asking the people to repent by turning away not from idols but from sin. Jesus is referring to Himself, but the disciples, referring the suffering to John the Baptist. And sometimes, we are like the disciples in today's gospel because we fail to recognize God's presence in our life, because we are so preoccupied with so many things and that we fail to focus on the essentials. Going to the church sometimes is not comfortable. That's why we disregard it. Here in Canada, we love to go to sports, Going to the south, it's warmer. We don't like sacrifice. That's why our responsorial song today capture the message that I would like to tell you, my dear friends. Lord, make us turn to you. Let us see your face, and we shall be saved. As I celebrate my 42nd birthday today, the grace that I ask the Lord are three. Number one, that like Prophet Elijah, I ask to have the fire to inspire people to come to the Lord and to reject the idols of comfort and convenience. The Lord is telling us, come follow me, take up your cross. He does not promise us a bed of roses, but the way of the Lord is the way of the cross. May, like Elijah, may I have that fire to inspire people. I hope in one way or another, being here for I think 5 years now in Malay, I hope my presence inspire you. And second, I ask the grace to embrace the way of the Lord, the way that John the Baptist is preparing, and that way is not crooked, but the straight way, because we cannot find the Lord in crooked ways. We cannot find the Lord in crooked ways, because the way of God is straight. And finally, I also ask the Lord today that as a priest, I may turn to the Lord, not to the offer of the world. And the offer of the world is comfort and convenience. How I wish, to be like when your birthday, you feel like you are a celebrity. When you celebrate your anniversary, you feel like you are a celebrity. But I thank the Lord because He gives me the opportunity to be more humble and to be with myself. And this is the grace. We can inspire people if we are authentic, because we are not called to be perfect, but we are called to be authentic. Because when you know who you are, like Elijah, like John the Baptist, you can inspire people to turn to the Lord. Thank you for your presence. I know it's not comfortable to wake up early in the morning, driving in the cold weather. And your presence also inspired me to continue to serve. Continue to remember all the priests all over the world, that we will not be ditched into the life of comfort and convenience, but we may follow the ways of God. That we may follow not the crooked ways, but the way that John the Baptist is preparing. And this is Advent is all about preparing the way of the Messiah.